Hello guys, gals and non-binary pals. This is another sort of very last minute request for you to fill out the survey about the Spion na Mara N4 offshore wind farm off the coast of Lewis in the Outer Hebrides in Scotland. It's mainly directed at people who live in Ness or in Uig in the Isle of Lewis, and if you don't live there then please don't fill this in. It should be honest and true, and if you are an actual resident, this is a resident survey, so if you have a postcode in that area or have friends or family in that area, this is directed at you. I'm going to put the link in the description and you can go and fill out that survey. If you need some ideas of why we should be objecting to this, I have covered this in previous videos, but I will put a short bullet point list. Some of those, but not limited to, include this will disrupt cetacean migratory routes. Cetaceans are whales and dolphins. There are flapper-scape breeding grounds off of the west coast of Lewis, which I have documented evidence of, and Nature Scott have documented evidence of because I sent that evidence into them. We have cold water corals, which are globally rare. We have some incredible underwater marine landscapes that we don't think about because we don't see it underneath the surface. We've got various sharks, rays, skate, cetaceans, seabirds. We have red-listed birds, which are ground nesting birds on peatland, which will also be destroyed in order to create the infrastructure needed to take that generated electricity and transfer it into a format that it can be then used in the grid. And to build all of these, it is going to be really, really carbon intensive, not just from the excavation of the peatland, which is an essential carbon sequestration system. That ecosystem is necessary, doing exactly what it does already. But also all of the transport is going to be fossil fuel powered. So extra ferries, extra trucks on the road, extra ships going out and back and forward with all of the equipment necessary to build this huge, large scale development. And it really is about the scale of the thing. I'm not blanket against wind farms. In the right place and for the right reasons, a small localised wind farm can supplement the local area to have sustainable power, which is really, really important. And obviously we want to move away from fossil fuels and towards sustainable energy generation. But this project is not that. This is a capitalist venture. This is for profit, and it did not take into account the views of the local people who will be affected by this. These will create noise and light pollution. They will create vibration pollution within the marine environment. They're going to create problems for those of us who rely on tourism in the local area. That is a huge part of the income of these areas. And it will also be seen from historic monuments. The Arnish stones, for example, are older than the pyramids, and they're going to be marred by the sight of these wind farms. Now, I again just can't stress this enough. I'm not against a few wind farms clustered together in a landscape where it's appropriate and feeding either into the national grid or more appropriately into a small localised project. But the scale of this, you have to see a map and some of the visualisations that are coming out from Elon Mughal and from Protect Hebridean Waters. I might try and link those as well. This is a massively destructive project under the guise of sustainable energy, and I would strongly, strongly recommend that you take some of the bullet points, write it in your own words if you live in the local area, and put in your objection to this survey, because the consultation process did not take into account local views. And yeah, this is one of our last chances to continuously object to this sort of proposal. So thank you very much for listening. Sorry if I talk too fast. It's really only going to affect people who live in Scotland anyway, so hopefully you can all understand me when I rabbit on. And yeah, just please put those objections in really soon. Thank you.